I'm Kenny.
And I'm Shanna.
And we've been in the house for about 6 months now. So this is our third home. The first two were track homes as we were moving around in the Air Force, and we just knew that eventually we wanted to do a custom home.
Nice.
So we bought some lands, a few years prior, and thought we'd slowly phase it in. And as we were interviewing builders, we thought it was going to be a 10, 15-year plan.
Right.
But when we met Phil and Jason at Elkridge, they were able to figure out exactly what we wanted, what we needed, and were able to kind of get a budget in control where we were able to move much sooner rather than later. And we have absolutely no regrets. Like we were talking about, it started kind of as a 10-year plan. We knew we eventually wanted to get closer to family and move back to Colorado, but we didn't think it was really in the cards. So our idea was, let's design a home, talk with an architect, get something that we think matches what we want, and just interview builders from there. What we didn't realize is when you talk with an architect, you just pay a flat fee and they design the biggest thing possible without thinking about functionality. So as we were interviewing other builders, we were coming in 2, almost 3 times what we expected our budget to be.
Right.
And so we thought things were very far off. So when we sat down with Phil and Elkridge, we went through a lot of value engineering, seeing what functionally made sense for us, what would help us live in the house better, what we really needed. And that cut a huge amount of, the giant budget and waste off of it.
So working with them was amazing because they led me in the right direction. They were always there to give advice and help whenever we asked for it or needed it. Me personally, I'm really OCD about things, but I have a very hard time narrowing it down and picking things. They really helped us to just pick the overall best things that look great together.
And we always think we know what we want, and then you see a million different options that all look a fraction different.
Yeah.
So just letting someone kind of run wild with it and just giving us approval authority, I think made it just so much better.
Right.
I think one of the things that made it the easiest working with Phil is just saying, Phil, design it. We trust you. Just go with it.
Yeah, you're saying this is kind of our idea, take that, and then he would just run with it, and all the selections they would choose were
absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing, and what we wanted, but almost we didn't know what we wanted until it was almost showed to us, I guess.
Exactly. I think what was great about the questionnaire is that it kind of let us focus a little more, and then, let the team expand on some of our biggest, desires or wishes. We'll see something in a magazine and say, oh, that looks pretty.
Like it,
and then see something completely different style-wise and be like, okay, we like that. And I think we made up a term, modern, farmhouse, rustic, was what we were trying to go for. And, that's what we're living in right now.
Yeah,
it's been great.
It was amazing how they kind of took all those ideas from the questionnaire and put it into real life for us.
So we've moved around, lived in numerous different houses, apartments. When you live in a track home, you're getting what you pay for, and the amount of things that go wrong, just even in the first 6 months, is pretty astounding. And I would say the quality of workmanship in this home is just unparalleled. We'll have people come by to do some aftermarket upgrades, and even they comment on how this is the best quality construction they've seen in the new homes in the Colorado area.
Yeah, exactly. Communication overall was great, especially with us being out of state. I think that's kind of something you go into when buying, you get a little nervous over, like, are we going to like this, or are we going to, be able to do this how we want, being this far away and not being there the whole time. There wasn't any trouble at all. Communication was always there throughout the whole process, whether it be phone call, text message, email, FaceTime. They really did it all for us, so we never felt like we were out of the process at all.
And I think one of the things we forget too about the communication is we had a 3.5-year-old, and Shannon was pregnant with our second, all while we're building a new house, 3,500 miles away. So the communication was great. We never had to worry about not being in the loop.
Yeah.
I would say Elkridge exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I would too.
We knew we were going to get a great product, but we didn't think it would be.
We didn't really realize what we actually were going to get. It was beyond anything that we thought.
been a dream come true.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
The
again,
functionality of the house is awesome. There's things that were done that we didn't know that we needed at the time, but now that we're living in it, it all just makes sense. It makes our life way easier.
it's a lot of the little things that
Yeah.
we didn't even think about, but Phil and Jason built in that have really just been awe-inspiring. We're still finding little things here and there that are just amazing.
Yeah. 100% recommend Elk Ridge. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that could put our dream to better work than they did.
I can't imagine a smoother process than working with Elk Ridge. And if we ever decide to build another home or anything, we would contact Elk Ridge right
Definitely
away.
Elk Ridge.